let's get right into the Big 12 Week 11 picks here. Make sure you subscribe. We are really close to 1,000 subs, so please click the subscribe button. Let's go here. There are some big games. We got a big noon kickoff. We have a rivalry game, the Holy War. Let's go. All right, first up, what do we got? West Virginia at Cincinnati. This is kind of an elimination game in terms of the Big 12 championship. I don't think either one of these teams are really, I mean, of course they're dreaming about it, but I don't think either one of them realistically thinks that they can get to Arlington. Cincinnati favored by 4.5, over under 56.5. Kenny, let's go to you first, bud. What do you got here in West Virginia versus Cincinnati?
Oh, man, this could actually potentially turn into a really good rivalry down the stretch. These two teams battling each other over the years is going to be kind of cool. But I got Cincinnati winning this one. I just think their pass game is really superior. And West Virginia has a hard time stopping the pass. You saw it on full display when K-State played them. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick Cincinnati. I think their quarterback's good. So
Sorsby's pretty good.
He's pretty good, and they've got a really good receiving core. And fun fact, but they were also one of the teams that gave Houston that shutout. One of the teams that gave them the shutout.
30, I think it was like 34-0 or something like that.
Yep. But I'm going to go ahead and say Cincinnati. I think they're both coming off of a bye week, right? I'm not, if I'm not mistaken.
Possibly.
I think they are. So they're both going to be up for this game. And even though West Virginia is still pretty far away, I still think this is the closest game for them in terms of away games. So at least they don't have to travel too far. It's not like they're going to like Utah or Arizona or something like that. But
right.
Let's go Cincinnati 35, West Virginia 24.
That's a great score. That really is. And that would hit the over. I'm also on a Cincinnati train. I think they're a pretty good football team. They played Colorado pretty close. I mean, honestly, they're a few plays away from being undefeated, even though they're 5-3. I think West Virginia's defense is pretty horrid, at least against the pass, like you said. Their offense has been hit or miss for me. So I'm going to pick Cincinnati to win something like 31-21. Hitting the under.
All right.
So, moving on. Interesting game in Arrowhead this Saturday. Iowa State at KU. I mean, we've said it all season. Iowa State's going to have more fans at this game. We honestly thought there'd be more momentum for Iowa State, but they just lost this past weekend. Iowa State is still favored by 3, over under 49.5. Kenny, what do you got? Cyclones versus Jayhawks in Kansas City.
This is going to come down to if Iowa State figures out their rush defense, man. It's kind of what bit them in the butt last game. That's what almost lost them the game against UCF. And I just think that Kansas, even though they lost the Sunflower Showdown, they were the better team that day. They just found a way to lose in the last quarter, just like every game they've had so far.
Yep.
But I feel like the bye week came at a really good time. And I think right now what they really want is to have a big win against a school that's, also another, I wouldn't call them rivals, but both teams want to beat each other badly.
I agree.
And so, I think KU is going to be up for this. And if there's any team that is going to be playing spoiler against a top team, it's going to be KU. And I just think that maybe KU might have the juice this game. Iowa State, they had to think about their loss. KU spent 2 weeks preparing for this team. So I think KU might actually take this win. It might be, let's go with like a 30 to like 21.
You're picking KU to win 30-21?
Yeah.
Upset special, and that would hit the over as well. I'm also going KU here. Maybe I'm just buying a sauce too much. Maybe I just want it to happen because, I'm a K-State fan and, we need some help at this point. I don't know, but I do agree. I mean, KU won last year in Ames, Iowa. That was a pretty nice win for them. They returned a lot of their players and everyone thought they'd be a lot better. Took them way too long to figure out how to play some football. Iowa State is reeling right now. This is probably not the game that they'd want to be playing following a loss. There will be a ton of Iowa State fans there. I expect probably 60,000 people at this game, maybe even 65,000. I'm going to pick KU also to win 28-24.
Oh man, close game. And it could definitely happen, but like I said, Iowa State's rush defense has looked sus.
I agree.
And they haven't played like when they play their games against I guess you could say lesser opponents, they haven't looked the greatest, but we'll see what happens this Saturday with this game. I'm actually excited to watch that game. I think it's going to be really entertaining, and it's definitely going to tell a lot. It's going to say a lot for what goes on in the Big 12 after this. And then that also follows the next game, Colorado versus Texas Tech. Hey, call me like, I don't know, a Debbie Downer or whatever. Call me the what do they call the devil's advocate, but I'm picking another upset here. It looks like down the stretch we're going to start seeing a lot of upsets and crazy games, but Colorado, this is a big away game for them. They did have to travel to UCF a couple weeks back, and they did an amazing job of shutting them down. It was a crazy game. But I think Texas Tech has sort of found the sauce a little bit. This is going to be a good game, Steve.
It's going to be a really good game. I agree. I mean, it's the Fox big noon kickoff. I agree. What's your score?
See, this is what I was going to say, though. My biggest criticism of Texas Tech was their defense. They just played Iowa State, and they kept it kind of a low-scoring game most of the game.
Yeah, it was part of that was weather-related, but I agree, and I also don't think Iowa State's offense is amazing either.
Yeah, and so this will be really interesting. I know Blackout just commented right now. CU is going to get the win.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to predict the upset with Texas Tech winning. Look, they're coming home after a big win. And they're in contention just like Colorado. They are just like Colorado in contention. They're not out of it. And this is a big game for both programs. And this actually, I believe the winner of this game knocks the other person out of contention.
It's an elimination game is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly just that. So I'm going to go Texas Tech. We'll go Texas Tech 36, Colorado 33.
Okay, so I'm on the same wavelength as you. Maybe it's because I'm a K-State fan and K-State grad, and we need Colorado to lose to make the title game. But I really honestly feel like, Texas Tech is playing a lot better ever since they lost, like giving up 59 points at Baylor. Ever since then, they've played a lot better. They won just this past weekend at Iowa State. Colorado is pretty good. I still have some questions on their defense. I think this is going to be a really high scoring game. I want to pick higher than this because I don't trust either defense at all. And both of these offenses are pretty good. I like Taj Brooks running the ball. He's already got 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. Shadur Sanders, 2,500 yards, 21 TDs. Man, over under 62.5. It feels like you always got to pick the over when it's Texas Tech. I'm going to pick Texas Tech to win 47 to like 42, something like a crazy weird score. With the upset special, their fans are going to rush the field. They're going to feel like they're going to go to the conference title game. And like you said, this is an elimination game, and K-State needs Texas Tech to win, and that's partly why I'm picking them. So,
And I want to just make something really clear. Us picking Texas Tech has no bearing on whether or not we think that Colorado is bad or something. Like
no, Colorado's really good. I just said that.
both teams have improved a lot. And no, I'm not going to bet money on this.
No,
like,
absolutely not.
This is a close game. Both teams are very, very good, and if this, I'll say this to all you Colorado fans out there: if this was played in Boulder, I'd pick Colorado.
I agree, 100%.
Okay?
I agree.
That is that's what's making the difference for me, is that because it's an away game, I feel like Texas Tech is more of a harder place to play in than UCF or Arizona. Those were the other two away games for Colorado. I think Lubbock is very difficult to win in. Very, very difficult to win in.
I agree.
And so that's the only thing. It's hard to win on the road. Again, if they were playing in Boulder, I would pick Colorado every single time. But it's just the fact that they're traveling. Texas Tech is they're getting on a roll here. Okay, so that's the only thing. That's the only thing.
They have the sauce right now, and honestly, I feel like Colorado's kind of outkicked their coverage. They're a good team. I don't think that they're a top 25 team by the end of the season. We'll see.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Colorado fans are thinking they're going to go undefeated the rest of the season. Obviously, I don't think that. But I still think they're a really good team. So, yeah, we both have Texas Tech winning. We're on the same wavelength so far here, Kenny.
Yeah,
Cincinnati,
no shade.
KU, and Texas
no shade
Tech.
To those teams. I just wanted to point that out. But let's move on to the next game. Now, this game is going to be wild. But
why is that?
They're very similar in their offense. They both like running the ball, but again, it's going to come down to home field advantage. I'm not picking an upset here. Obviously, I'm taking the home team because let's not forget where these two teams are located on the map of the United States. UCF is traveling a really far distance to get to this game. And so and also Arizona's good this year. To all the people out there, you just got to accept the fact that Arizona State is a good football team this year. And they've proved everyone wrong, all the naysayers. And I think they're going to be up for this game, man. They just beat Oklahoma State in Stillwater. It's going to be fun, dude. Arizona is one of the most exciting. Arizona State is one of the most exciting teams to talk about this year. And UCF, you had a massive game, but it was against Arizona. So I think it's interesting. They're going against back-to-back Arizona schools, one at home, one away. But I've got Arizona State winning this game, Steve. I don't know. I just think they're
good, man. They're really good.
And you have to acknowledge the traveling. Like, you have to acknowledge the amount of travel that UCF is going to be going under here. So 55 for the over under, huh? I'm definitely taking the over here. I'm going to probably go like 35-28.
Okay. I like it.
Let's do that. 35-28.
I also have Arizona State winning. I think they're better. I think their defense is better. I know that UCF fired their DC, and they looked a lot better this past weekend, only giving up 12 to Arizona. And fun fact: every team wearing black this past weekend won, except for one team. You know who that one team was? Oklahoma State.
That's hilarious.
Every other team that wore black won this past weekend, and UCF was one of them. I don't think they're winning this game. I think Arizona State's pretty good. They're a lot better than everyone thought they'd be. I love their running back, Cam Skattebo. He's a lot of fun to watch, rushing and receiving. I think it's going to be something like 31 to like 17. I don't think UCF is going to go off for 50 again. Having said that, they got a new quarterback. He threw a forward pass and the other three couldn't. So we'll see what happens.
That's
But
right,
yeah,
man.
I like Arizona State to win this game pretty comfortably because I don't think UCF is very good, honestly. So,
And we'll get to all these comments once we finish predicting, doing our score predictions.
I agree.
Let's move on to this very underwhelming game. This game has no juice to it at all.
Oh boy,
Unfortunately, Oklahoma State versus TCU.
I don't even
I
want to pick
mean,
it.
I don't even care who wins at this point. I do think that if Oklahoma State loses this game, they are completely even out of bowl contention, right? Is that correct?
If Oklahoma State loses, they cannot make a bowl.
Wow. There's a lot of drama going on in Oklahoma State and Stillwater with Mike Gundy, the things that he said about
Yep.
the fan base, criticizing them for having frustrations about the program. It, I don't think that I don't think Mike Gundy's ever going to lose his job. I don't think he's ever going to get fired. But
I think he should retire. I really
think
do.
I think it's time for him to step down. I don't think this is the kind of environment that he's really going to thrive in. So, look, Oklahoma State, they're going against TCU is not really much of a running team, and Oklahoma State has struggled against running teams. But I don't know. I think TCU might win this game. Almost 2-score favorites. I mean, that says a lot right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go TCU. I don't think Oklahoma State's going to score that much, but maybe, I don't know. Let's go. You know what? I'll give Oklahoma State the benefit of the doubt. I'll give them like 28, TCU 41. How about that?
Okay. I dig it. Yeah. I mean, I think Oklahoma State's defense is garbage, like hot garbage. TCU is hit or miss for me. I mean, some weeks they look good. Some weeks they give up 66 at SMU. You know what I mean? Sometimes you lose at home to Houston, and they should have beaten UCF earlier this season. Man, I don't even know what to think about them, honestly. I have no faith in Oklahoma State at all at this point. I mean, they should have won a couple more games than they did. But I mean, they're 0-6 for a reason. I really feel like the bottom of all of the major conferences are so much better now than they were 15, 20 years ago. I mean, the bottom of the conferences you used to be able to beat by 30 or 40. And now it's probably, just like 10 to 15 or whatever, you know what I mean? So I got TCU winning 38-28. Not covering a 10.5, but and not hitting the over under either. So just right under. The game of the weekend, Kenny. The game of the weekend in the Big 12. We got Holy War, man. BYU at Utah. BYU fans got to be excited for this game. I mean, they're 8-0. They're undefeated, ranked in the top 10. Utah is terrible this year. They should be winning this game, but it's on the road, man, and it's a rivalry game. BYU's favored by 3.5, over under just 40.5. Woo-wee. Kenny, what do you got in Holy War, BYU at Utah?
I said that I wasn't going to pick against BYU, but I thought about it. This week has just been Kenny picking all the upsets. But to be fair, you've picked a couple as well. But listen, Utah does not care about any game after this game. They literally don't. Their mind, their whole entire program is centered around this singular game. That is all they have to play for, is just this game. This is the only one that matters to them. This is Utah's Super Bowl. BYU, they have aspirations after this game. I mean, they have the vision of possibly going undefeated, getting to the Big 12 championship game, and then also playing the college football playoff. That is not in Utah's mind whatsoever. That is way out of reach for them. This is the only thing that matters for their fan base, for the coach, for the players, for everyone that's involved in the state of Utah. This is the only thing that matters to Utah Utes. So I have a feeling, and BYU fans, listen, you've been saying this all season long. The other shoe's going to drop. One of these days, it's going to drop. If there is any game that this is going to happen, it's going to be this game. When everything is looking great. Look, K-State almost lost to KU, okay? And we saw their record. We saw how bad they were all season, and we were doing well ourselves, and we managed to pull out the win. But I just feel like Utah, both teams are in a bye week. Both teams are going to be coming out hot. I just feel like Utah is going to be so fired up for this game. This is it for them. This is, even though there's more games after this for Utah, this is the only one that they care about. I have Utah Utes winning this game 28-27.
Oh, I cannot wait for the apology video because I am not picking Utah, man. I don't know how you can pick them. I mean, they lost at Houston. I mean, they lost 10-7 at home to TCU. I know it's a rivalry game, but man, I've learned my lesson on BYU. They're a good football team. They really are. I mean,
it's going to be part 4. It's the trilogy with the last video. It's the Breaking Dawn.
Part 1, Part 2.
Breaking Dawn, Part 1, Part 2.
No, I think BYU is winning this game. I do. I did look up some interesting stuff on Holy War. They first played back in 1896. Utah has absolutely dominated this series for the most part. They have won every game except for one in the last 14 years. But the last time that they played was 2021 in Provo. BYU got the win 26-17, but this game is not in Provo. It is in Salt Lake City. The last time BYU won in Salt Lake City, Kenny, 18 years ago in 2006. So,
oh my God,
it will have been a long time since they've won in Salt Lake City. I still think it's happening because I have no faith at all in Utah. I mean, they were picked to win the conference and they look like dog crap. They really do. BYU's offense and their defense looks great. I mean, Retzloff, let's be honest. I mean, their entire offense runs through him. Their pass defense is pretty darn good. Their rush defense is a little sus, but Utah's offense is so bad. It is so bad. So,
well, they've had a bye week to figure some stuff out.
I know. And I know they fired their OC and, they're probably better than they were, but man, I mean, if Utah can't even beat Arizona at home, I mean, I don't know how they can beat BYU at home. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna pick BYU to win this game. But as you said earlier, I did guarantee BYU would lose one game before the conference championship. It just won't be this game. It will not be this game. I got BYU winning this game 31-14 by 3 scores.
Wow. All right.
I think Utah stinks, man. I really do. And BYU is top 10. We're going to find out tonight here in the college football playoff rankings where they are. I bet they're going to be top 6. I really do. So
all I have, I mean, let's be honest, Steve, based on what Utah has done, I have no faith in them. I'm really just I'm making this gamble that like they're going to literally they're going to be doing trick plays. They're going to scheme and they're going to throw in the whole kitchen sink in this game. And I have nothing to base that on except for this is a rivalry game. This is in their home turf and they've got nothing else to lose. They have nothing else to play for except for this game to carry them till the next season, for the recruits, for everything that like this is everything for Utah. This is all they care about is winning this game. And then they could just throw the rest of the season away, call it a mulligan season. At least you won against BYU, your in-state rivals, and then just look to 2025. I have nothing to base that on except for I just feel like that the players are going to be up for this. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, Utah does hold the overall series lead 62-35, going back to 1896. So,
look, I didn't think K-State would lose. I didn't think K-State would lose to Houston, and look where we're at. Okay, I didn't think
Yes,
Texas Tech was gonna beat Iowa State names. Look
I
where we're
agree.
at.
I agree. Well, I'll say this though. I mean, K-State 100% overlooked Houston. Let's be honest. K-State overlooked Houston. They did. Do you think BYU is going to overlook Utah as a rival?
I don't know.
No way in hell, dude.
Yeah,
No
they're going to
way in
be up.
hell.
I think, but honestly, I think this game is going to mean more to Utah than BYU, only because of the fact that they haven't won, they haven't done very well. And again, this is the
Yes.
only game that they have in their sights for the foreseeable future. They're not going to care about any games after this.
No.
BYU, again, if they lose this game, okay, in-state rivals, it's an away game, it's a tough environment. At least we could still make the Big 12 championship and get to the playoff. Like that for them is still in their sights. For Utah, this is it. This is all it is. This is their whole Super Bowl.
BYU has a lot more to lose. BYU has a lot more to lose.
You're right.
For sure.